Hello and welcome to a new episode of Where Are They Wednesdays, where I talk about a missing person case every Wednesday. So today, you guys, I really wanted to cover this story because ever since I've heard it, like for years ago, I've seen it on plenty of TV shows. I just had to cover this case. It's very mysterious. Like every case that I've ever covered on my channel obviously has like its own twist to it, but this one is just gonna blow your guys' mind if you have not heard of it yet. And if you have, I'm not surprised. So if you have not heard this case yet, let's get right into it, y'all. So today we are gonna be going over the case of Brian Shaffer. So Brian Shaffer was actually a 2-year medical student at Ohio State University. In 2003, Brian Shaffer had actually graduated in an undergraduate program and got his degree in microbiology. Eventually, later on, he ended up going back to Ohio State University. 3 weeks before his mysterious disappearance, unfortunately, Brian Shaffer's mother actually passed away. And she was suffering from, I think it was like a rare blood cancer that she was fighting, and unfortunately she did not make it. A lot of friends, family member of Brian did say that overall he was okay. He was dealing with this death, this pretty significant loss in his life pretty well, but the closest ones to him could tell that it was really affecting him deep down inside, because Brian was really close to his mother. One of the last few things that Brian's mother actually did for him was actually get him a trip to Miami, I believe. I forgot exactly what this gift was for. Maybe it was for school, I'm not exactly sure, but she had actually gotten him this trip on April 3rd to go to Miami with his, at the time, girlfriend. And on this trip, actually a lot of his close friends and a few of his family members did believe that Brian was actually going to be proposing to his girlfriend who was going to be going on the trip with him. So the really weird thing about it was that he ended up not making it to this trip. So on April 1st, Brian Shaffer, alongside his friend William Florence, ended up going bar hopping in the downtown area of Ohio. I believe they went to the Ugly Tuna Saloona, which has actually been closed now since 2018, where they decided to go bar hopping because it was basically spring break week. So they kind of wanted to celebrate and let loose a little bit. They had also invited one of their friends, Meredith Reeve, who was actually also there with them. From his friend's testimony, the both of them did describe Brian being very normal that day that they decided to go to the bar. He did not seem off. Nothing seemed like things were plaguing his mind. He didn't seem like he was thinking too much, or like he was in danger, or he was worried. None of that. It just was just another regular hangout with their friend. And in the videos that I'm about to put next, you will see that Brian is actually captured alongside his friends entering the bar to the Ugly Tuna Saloona. Later on in the evening, at around 1:50 a.m. in the morning, Brian is actually captured another time. I believe it's like a second time on the security camera, talking to, I believe, 2 chicks. He seemed pretty normal in the video. He seemed pretty happy. Once again, he didn't look worried or concerned. But this is one of the last few times that Brian is actually caught on the CCTV footage. And around like 15 minutes before the bar actually closes to the public, William and Meredith actually start looking for Brian, because in between that time that he was seen in the video, they actually lose him. So they were trying to look for him around the bar. They were shouting his name. William actually checked the men's restroom just to see if Brian was in there, and they could not find him, which is really odd in my opinion. It's not like a really huge bar, so it's kind of weird for, you know, both of his friends not to like even find a single clue. So they ended up thinking that maybe Brian just decided to go home early and maybe ditch them somehow. So of course, since they couldn't find him, and you know, obviously they checked outside as well, they decided to head home. But they also believed that it was kind of out of character for Brian not to communicate with his friends if he was gonna leave. And by the way, they did call his cell phone and he never answered. Without a worry, like I said, his friends do end up going home, but little do they know that this was going to be the last night that they were ever going to see their friend, Brian Shaffer. Once April 3rd rolls around the corner, Brian never makes it onto the plane to go on the trip with his girlfriend. And this is when his family really starts to get concerned for him and ends up filing a missing persons report. Police investigated the security footage, and one of the weirdest things about the footage, as you guys have seen, is that Brian is captured entering the bar, but the mystery of it all is that he is never seen leaving the bar. There's many theories and speculations out there. You guys can read all these Reddits, watch all these other conspiracy videos on Brian Shaffer, but none of them make sense. A couple of people saying that maybe Brian took a disguise into a bar and decided to honestly leave and take a break because he was going through a lot of things during this time in his life. But a lot of his family and his friends do think that it would be very out of character for Brian to just get up and leave without saying a word to anybody, especially because he was planning to propose to his girlfriends just a couple of days later. And there are some theories out there too that said that maybe even his friend William was onto it and brought a disguise and helped somehow Brian disappear, because he did close off to the investigators. He was very open in the beginning, but once, you know, they started questioning more and they started trying to investigate deeper into this case, his friend William Florence ends up just completely shutting down, hires an attorney, which is, you know, to like the normal person it seems very odd and very suspicious, and even to the investigators, and decides never to interview again to help locate his friend Brian. Investigators did check bank records, cell phone records, but nothing ends up turning up. Everything is basically normal. It doesn't seem like there's any activities on any of these accounts. Police did actually interview those two women that are seen in the footage speaking to Brian, but unfortunately they couldn't give any really good clues or any details. They just said that he seemed pretty normal that day and nothing seemed like it was out of the ordinary. And of course, police also canvassed the area and other businesses neighboring the Ugly Tuna Saloona, reviewed footage, but Brian is never seen walking on the street, not passing another security camera. He's just not seen. It basically like he vanished into thin air in the middle of this bar. They also checked riverbanks, freaking garbage cans, everything, because who knows what could have happened to Brian. Maybe he was killed somehow and was snuck out of the bar, but there was no evidence. And the police did investigate basically like the whole street and the surrounding areas, but had no clues of Brian or any of his belongings that he had taken with him. One of the weirdest things that did happen was Brian's girlfriend one day decided to phone his cell phone number, and this happened around 6 months after he disappeared, and she actually reported to the police that the cell phone rang 3 times, and then after that it did not ring anymore. But once they contacted like the cell phone company and the cell phone towers, they basically debunked that this was even like a legitimate clue or like a lead, because they said that it was probably just a glitch within the cell towers. Which to me, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it wasn't. I've never heard of that before, if I'm being honest. Like, I've never heard of there being a glitch within cell phone towers, and why would a phone ring if it's shut off? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it could have been a clue and they're just really overlooking it. Unfortunately, this is one of those really unsolved mysteries that's creepy. You know, he's been missing for a very long time now, and there has been no leads. His case has been very dead silent. Like, there is no clues. There has been nothing in order to get closer to finding answers of what happened to Brian Shaffer. And unfortunately, in 2018, the Ugly Tuna Saloona did close for business. So if there might have been any evidence or any clues lying within the bar itself, they are no longer there, and they're probably gone now. I hope you guys really enjoyed this week's episode of Where Are They Wednesdays. I'm very excited. I have not done one in a while, so I hope you guys really did enjoy it. Let me know down below if there are any updates on Brian Shaffer's case or anything I did not cover or anything that I missed. I really appreciate it so much when you guys comment in my videos and update me, and you guys give me personal experiences, because I've had subscribers actually reach out, you know, of like the missing person cases that I do, and tell me that they've known this person or they lived a block away. So it's crazy. So please leave comments down below for you guys, or leave a case that you want me to cover next week. I'd really appreciate it, and please hit that big thumbs up. It really helps this channel super much. Share this video and subscribe to my channel, you guys. We are almost at 300 subscribers, and I really appreciate each and one of you guys. I love you guys so much, and please stay safe out there. Bye.